from HopZine.com. Thanks for joining me for another video beer review. This time we are looking at something very exciting, very exclusive. It is a bottle of Magic Rock Brewing's Unhuman Cannonball Triple India Pale Ale, weighing in at a hulking 12% ABV. Magic Rock from Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. This is one of the most sought after, talked about, most eagerly anticipated beers released this year. Maybe one of the most anticipated beers released in the last couple of years. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. For me, it's kind of like, because this beer is the kind of evolution of beers like of Magic Rock's Cannonball, and then obviously the words Human Cannonball, and now you've got Unhuman Cannonball, taking it up that next step. And for me, sorry, I'm just getting the info on my phone. It's it kind of reminds me of the buzz what's around Russian River's Player the Younger. And I know recently, maybe actually might be about 6 months ago now, that Rich and Stu from the brewery went over to Russian River. Well, they went to California, went all over the place, but went up to Russian River for the release of Player the Younger, and I'm sure it left a bit of an impression on them. Anyway, going to give you the details on this beer, because I mean, there's too much going on. There's too many hops in this beer that I can't remember them all. So the beer is, it's 12%. As I said, it is hopped. It's got a real simple kind of malt bill of apparently just Golden Promise, and then it's hopped with a mountain of Centennial, Citra, and Columbus. Whole leaf hops as well, which is interesting. A lot of those kind of American style breweries do usually go for pellet hops. And then it is dry hopped with monstrous amounts of Amarillo, Centennial, Simcoe, Citra, and Chinook in cold condition. I don't know if it's whole leaf. I presume it is pellet hops at that point. But yeah, I just got to mention this big shout out to the man Richard Norgate, who designs all the stuff for Magic Rock. I text Rich Birdhouse from the brewery, the owner, telling him this is the best looking bottle of beer probably ever produced in the UK. What a fantastic screen printed label, fantastic, and I love this touch as well. First time I've ever seen that. It's all about the detail. That's where you get the success in something. Fantastic, that little wrap over top. I'm going to do my best to preserve that as possible, but yeah. So it's now or never. A momentous occasion. Opening of Unhuman Cannonball. It's only been in the bottle maybe 2 days. I bottled them the other day and it arrived today. This has actually been recorded on the launch night that they're doing at Craft Beer Co down in Islington. I texted Richard from the brewery earlier and said, do we drink it tonight or do we leave it a couple of days? He said, drink it straight away. As it says on the website, gotta get the most out of it. I'm trying not to get my nose near it. I'm trying not to breathe through my nose so I get a preview. Beer in the glass, very hazy. It does look like Cannonball. Surprising as it's just Golden Promise, because it does have a slightly kind of like dark edge to it. Very hazy, not murky, but very hazy. Kind of like a tarnished gold, bronzy thing. Nice, fluffy white head. I got a preview there. I'm really trying not to smell it. Yeah, a nice kind of egg white looking head. So let's give this a swirl and a sniff. Looking forward to this. Oh my goodness. It's so delicate, which is really interesting. It's got one thing that it's definitely got, it smells of fresh hops. It's got that kind of like musty, slightly kind of really seriously mature cheddar thing. Not like old hops have cheesy, but this has a different kind of cheesy. It's like that mustiness, like smelly feet. But then there's a hint of kind of that sweetness from the malt. This doesn't smell on 12%. It's got sweeter pale stone fruits, peach, mango, that kind of thing. Maybe a slightly old pineapple that started to slightly ferment. It's got a nice sweet orange. And then the grassiness at the back end as well. Definitely getting that smell of whole leaf hops. Wow, but the thing that really strikes me about this is the fact that it doesn't smell anything like 12%. It's got a lovely, fresh, vibrant. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like Highwire, which is like what, 5.4 or something. Astounding, really. It's now or never. Let's dive in. Cheers. Thanks, Rich. Unhuman Cannonball. Cheers. At the start, musty. Kind of like cardamom, kaffir, lime leaves. Weirdly, you do get a bit of sweetness from that malt. Primarily, it's this kind of it's very dank. It's real Simcoe. I was expecting, because there's the Simcoe in there. But there's also Amarillo and Citra and stuff like that, which is very. I see them as more citrus and more fruit bowl hops, and then that Simcoe brings the dankness. It is very dank, and it's like it's been hopped with like Bravo and Simcoe and Nugget and Summit and stuff like that. It's got a big dank resinous character. Got a slight phenolic note from there. It reminds me in a lot of ways of Brewdog's Hardcore IPA. Really quite a excuse me, yeah, I'm getting warm for alcohol now. Slightly ratty, kind of that what they say horse blanket, and I've never been near a horse's blanket, but that kind of slightly dirty travel blanket kind of thing going on. There's definitely a bit of that in there. Lots of quite full lemon character, big grapefruit. It's not a clean, crisp grapefruit. It's a really intense grapefruit, and the big part of it is big resinous, really chewy, big resinous hops. But definitely on the back end, it's becoming more grapefruit and resinous pine. Overall, what do I think? Personal taste. This is completely down to personal taste. Get rid of the Simcoe. I think it's spoiling the party. It's turning up and been a bit brash and a bit like fucking slapping people around, and it's a bit much. But that's personal taste, because I'm not in love with those big kind of dank hops. I prefer it to be a bit more fruit bowl and citrus and pronounced fruit flavours, because the alcohol and the resin and the dankness are kind of leading the show a bit. I'm going to drink this for the rest of the evening. As you should, obviously sip on this beer, but that's the thing, it's really drinkable, so that might be difficult. So, I think I'm going to stop the video here, continue drinking this for a while, come back and give you my final thoughts in a minute. So I'll see you in a second. Right, so I'm back. I've been continuous sip on this now empty glass of Unhuman Cannonball from Magic Rock. I'll see what this one's like when I pour it again. But I mean, it's 12%. I have been taking my time. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm feeling it a little bit. I'm a bit tired as it is, but I'm feeling it. It is quite boozy. And one thing I noticed as it kind of sits and opens up, that I'm getting more now on this kind of like new pour, but that mustiness drops away, that dankness drops away a bit. It's still very dank, but the fruit kind of is coming through more and more. It's a bit more on the kind of grapefruit side now. Those other hops are pushing through. I think the definitely the citrus coming through. I think you're getting a bit more mango. Yeah, that kind of phenol edge from the alcohol and the yeast dropping away a bit, especially that kind of dankness from the Simcoe. In the flavour, it's becoming rounded. I think it's becoming a bit more kind of solid and maybe not as nuanced, but a lot more kind of bit more kind of refined in a lot of ways. Big thanks, Rich, for sending me Richard Burhouse, Mr. Magic Rock, the owner of the brewery, and hot pervert, as Zach Avery called him on his blog recently. I thought it was beautifully put, Zach. Yeah, hot pervert, Richard Burhouse. Thank you very much for sending me this bottle of Unhuman Cannonball to review. It's getting there, but it's still a bit rough around the edges. Flame profile, me personally, you've heard what I've said. Anyway, I'm Rob from HopZine.com. This is an epic beer, a monumental beer for the UK beer scene. I'm glad I've had the opportunity to try it. It's a special day. Anyway, I'm Rob from HopZine.com. See you next time.